It's not about politics, it's about football.
This is a simple game.
We're going to run the ball, and we're going to pass the ball. He's just going to play football, really.
How good of a football player are you?
I just get in and try to spin it. That's all.
I just love the game.
It really is the best time of the year.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to It's Just Football. I'm Trevor Sikkema. That is Mike Renner joining you guys on a Thursday. Which means it's a trivia day, baby. The juices are flowing. The competitive spirit is alive and well here on the desk. It's Mike and I versus you guys in the chat. NFL trivia here on a Thursday. But that's not all we have. We also are recognizing some surprise stars that we've seen from the 2022 season. Going to give our hat tips to some of those guys. And Ian Harditz is joining us a day early. We've got, obviously, Thursday Night Football, but we've also got Saturday NFL games as well. So for your fantasy playoffs, we wanted to get you ready a day early. So we got Ian joining us. Make sure you guys have your start-sit questions in the chat when we get to Ian and we have our fantasy conversations. But, Mike, how are we feeling today, my friend?
Feeling good. We actually have a good Thursday night matchup. Like a meaningful late-season Thursday night matchup. And then you got Saturday football. So you got NFL pretty much 24/7 from now until Monday night.
It's a big weekend. It's a big weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Can we say that the weekend's starting today?
I'll do it. I'll take tomorrow off to declare that the weekend starts today.
Quinn, are you also taking the day off tomorrow? Or are you actually going to be here to turn the lights on?
Negative, I'll be here.
Okay, all right, good.
Here.
All right, good. As long as I have the rest of you guys, I don't know, Mike can maybe take the Maybe Mike can take the day off. No, actually, we need you because we need bold predictions because of the Saturday game, so we've got to get into that. Quinn, how are we feeling this morning? How's the production portal feeling? Where are the vibes here for trivia on a Thursday?
Good, man. Question of the day is getting a little wacky today. Just a heads up.
Okay, well, you can't. Wait, hold on. Is Eli wearing white Crocs?
Oh, hell yeah, I am.
He wears those almost every day.
I don't think I've ever noticed them in. I'm not a feet guy, so I'm not I'm not naturally looking down.
I'm really glad you aren't checking out my feet.
So, well, now I am because you got Crocs on, but I'm noticing it. You said hell yeah, you a big Crocs guy?
Yeah, Crocs are nice. Crocs made a resurgence. They were hot back when I was in college.
You own a pair of Crocs?
Yeah. I had Notre Dame Crocs back in college. No big deal.
I'm not going to say I brought them back, but like my junior year in high school, I started wearing them all the time just because I loved them. And like next 2 years is when they really started popping off. So I'm not going to take credit for it, but I am going to take credit for it.
I need a dripper skip in the chat for Crocs. Just straight up Crocs. I need to know whether it's a drip or skip. Somebody tell me in the chat.
We'll
fire it off
what
what it is.
In the next trip or skip for Crocs.
For just it's just a screenshot of Eli's feet.
Yeah, Eli's feet.
I'll make sure I don't wear socks with that picture too. Just that way chat gets a little bit something extra.
That's gross, brother. All right, what did you said that the question of the day is a little wacky one today. So what do we got?
It's wacky. It's a little different than what we've usually done.
Okay, I'm all for this. What do we got?
How many current NFL teams are named after non-human large mammals? So you see what I'm saying, right? Like the Buccaneers would not count because that's like a group of swashbuckling humans.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the Packers though would be humans.
Humans.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I said non-human, because like Packers, it's like, is that the industry? Is that the group of people that are
off the top of your head?
You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways you could go with that.
Before we break it down, just like you got to guess.
I'd say like 17.
There's 32
I'd say
teams.
somewhere around half the league.
I think it's like 22.
Okay.
I think it's more than that. Yeah, but
then you have but you have like a lot of like birds and
right. Large mammals. No, you're right. All right, maybe we'll go 14.
Yeah, so this is testing your knowledge, obviously, of the NFL, but also
actually, it's already. I'm going through some leagues, and it's less already than I'm even.
I'm going 13. I'm going 13. I'm bringing it down to 13. DT said Quinn deserves a raise for this question of the day. Matt said this is the best trivia question we started with. Philip wants to know what constitutes a large.
100 plus pounds, bigger than you.
Okay.
Right, you know it when you see it.
Okay, you'd know it was large if you saw it. Okay.
I'm thinking. I'm going division by division in my head right now. I'm up to 6. It's less than I thought off the rip.
Go quick. Let's go. Patriots, human. Jets. Okay. Is it
not
plane?
Not a mammal. Yeah.
Dolphin.
Bills is not. I know it's Buffalo Bills, but I don't think that's not an animal. It's not named after an animal.
No, is it not?
Is a dolphin's a mammal? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dolphin's
a mammal. All right.
Is Bill's not like an actual buffalo? Am I a fool?
The bill is like someone who's like a cowboy, right? It's like a person. That's a bill.
I always just thought they were associated because of the
Or
word
is this the-
buffalo.
yeah, I know.
Bill
What's their
Cody
logo?
is his name.
Oh,
Yeah, there you
okay.
Buffalo Bill Cody.
All right.
I think I've gone through division by division, and
What are you up to? 7, 8?
No, I'm up to 9 right now.
Okay. Dustin's saying 8. Jacob's saying 8. Jared's saying 7. Connor's saying 10. Nick said Trevor's 99 pounds confirmed
I think it's 9.
because of the stipulation.
I think I've went through it. I think it's 9.
Abel also says that it's 9. We'll rattle them all off. We'll do that at the end of the show. This is a fantastic question though, Quinn. You did good, my friend.
Thank you. I'll explain the origin of it at the end of the show.
Okay.
Or the inspiration for it, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
One of my favorite trivia questions is always, what are the teams not named after a state or a city? Is one of my favorite.
So just like in any part of the name at all whatsoever?
Well, no, it's not named after us. There's not a state or a city that's not named after. I think there's 3, if I recall correctly.
You gonna name them?
New England Patriots, Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because Tampa Bay is not a city.
Tampa Bay is technically not a city.
It's a bay.
You're correct. You are correct.
I think that's it.
All right, he thinks that's it. If you guys think of another one, please let us know. That was a great question of the day, though. I liked how we started that show there. Okay, let's get to a segment that, you know what, I'm really going to enjoy talking about. We talk about a lot of the guys who are at the very top of things. A lot of the trivia questions that we have later in the show are going to be about some of the best players in the NFL. It's going to be recognizing a lot of those performances. But what about some surprise stars? Guys who, when we were talking about this in August and September when the season was just beginning, we weren't really factoring these players in, but they have made a big difference one way or another for their football team. We're each going to recognize 3. We want to hear from you guys as well because you follow your teams very closely. So who has been a surprise star for your team that's making all the difference? Fire their names off in the chat. We'll give them some recognition. But Mike, who's your first surprise star?
My first has to be Jalen Hurts. I don't think
Incredible
anyone
season.
as high in expectations as you could have had for him. I don't think you saw realistic MVP caliber performance in year 3 from Jalen Hurts coming. After last year, I mean, the things that he has done, the improvements he's made as a passer have been night and day. Have just been transformative, truly. And the way he's protecting the football now, been massive for that team and how they're built. He has the lowest turnover-worthy play rate of any quarterback in the NFL this season. And you can say the situation, whatever, but he's not the first quarterback to have good situation. He is, by the way, the number 1 team, leading the number 1 team in the NFL right now.
That he is.
Like, you know, like,
Fact
he's not the, like, there are a lot of guys who have good situations around the NFL that aren't playing to the level that Jalen Hurts is. And this guy was, a 53rd overall pick. Eagles fans were mad when they drafted him. Thought it was a waste of a pick. Did not see this high end coming from him. I always thought he could be an NFL starter because of that dynamic rushing ability. But I will hand up, say I did not think he would ever become this as a passer. And Jalen Hurts truly does deserve to be in the MVP conversation with what he's done this season.
No, it's been awesome. It's been fantastic to see how they have changed their offense to fit his strengths so well, and he has been able to shine in all of those instances. You highlighted earlier this week the design run game, how they're getting him involved with that, making him a weapon with his legs. And then, too, I don't want to just say that he's only that, and that's the only reason why he's playing better. The arm, dude. Some of these big-time passes to Devontae and A.J. Brown and even your boy Quez Watkins, right? So many of these players that he's able to connect with, has great chemistry with. It feels like him taking that leap is certainly somebody who's worth recognizing here in this segment. The first guy that I'm going to go with Cleveland Browns center Ethan Posick. I'll go a little bit deeper into the bag here because Posick wasn't having a great career, honestly, before this year, and he's been playing well since he's been out in Cleveland. I feel like the Browns have noticed, like, holy cow, this guy was integral to what we were able to do on the offensive side of things. Up front, you look at his PFF grades here compared to just last year, how much better he is overall, how much more reliable he is overall, but especially in that pass blocking grade. I mean, he was late to reach guys last year. He was getting overpowered all the time. Guys were just getting by him. They were shooting the gaps on him. They were crossing his face, all this kinds of stuff. And I went back and I watched a couple of his games this morning as we were going through this segment, and he's just so much more reliable. He's keeping the shoulders in front of guys. He's angling guys well. He's walling these players off. And look, when you play on an offensive line like the Cleveland Browns had, you're playing next to Wyatt Teller, you're playing next to Joel Bitonio. Makes it easier, of course. But he is without a doubt individually stepped up. And I think that you see that with his absence since injury. You see the pressures allowed. Hasn't even allowed double-digit pressures so far this season from that center position. So wanted to shout out Ethan Posick, who could hit free agency and really cash out in a big way from what has been a career year for him.
I'm happy because I was high on him coming out of LSU. I thought he was going to be this guy earlier in his career, but, I'm not wrong. I'll just say, there you go. I'm not wrong. That's how I feel.
Who's the next guy you got there?
My next guy is none other than New England Patriots edge rusher Josh Uche. He has been on fire of late. 6 sacks over his last 3 games, averaging 4 pressures per game over his last 7 games, and he's only in a sub-package role. He is a sub-package rusher, even though he has a 79.7 grade against the run, has really improved just all around this year. Breakout performance. Second in the NFL right now in pass rush win rate. He is just one of the best speed rushers in the league right now. Yeah, he may never be a true every down edge at the NFL level at 245 pounds, but man, everyone's looking for his kind of juice that he brings to the table off the edge, and integral to this Patriots defensive dominance this season.
No, it's been awesome to see him really take that leap this year. I agree with you, and there are a handful of people in the chat who have already shouted out Josh Uche, so I'm glad that you kind of highlighted some numbers there for him. A lot of people are saying Geno Smith. I don't think. Do you have Geno on your last one?
Did not have Geno.
I didn't have Geno. We've talked so much about Geno that I was kind of trying to focus on some other players, but there's no doubt about it. This is surprise star.
I was going to say, Geno got the player who everyone thought was bad, but it's actually a good award. So
yeah, we've already recognized him, but certainly everybody in the chat who's saying Geno Smith, you were definitely right there. Jonas saying Tyson Campbell, giving a recognition to the Jags corner there. Definitely having a good year. Nate, Jared Goff. I don't have Jared Goff on my list, but he certainly could be. He seems like he's playing some really great ball this year. Justin Fields certainly over the second half of the season has been playing a lot better. Josh Jacobs, Zach says.
A lot of Brandon Ayuk, too. I've seen that a lot in chat.
Yeah, that's the next name that I was going to go to, Brandon Ayuk. And, man, he has become a wonderful route runner this year.
See, I don't know if it's a surprise because people have been hyping him up since like midway through his rookie year that this was coming. And you kind of thought
it was coming, but I don't know, man. He's showing it this year. I think is, I guess, what's worth recognizing. Patrick shouting out Chris Lindstrom, the interior offensive lineman for the Atlanta Falcons, who is one of the highest graded guards that we have in the National Football League. Yes. So that's definitely a shout out there. Cole saying Tony Pollard. I can see Tony Pollard because he's having more production than in the past, but like Tony Pollard's been good. Tony Pollard has been good, so it's not too much of a surprise that, more touches, more carries, even more production. So I'll keep reading off stuff in the chat as we go along here. But wanted to recognize Isaiah Rodgers as well, the Indianapolis Colts outside corner. He's playing opposite Stephon Gilmore, former 6th-round pick from a couple of years ago from UMass, I believe. And he's just another guy taking his game to a completely different level this year. With Stephon Gilmore on the other side, you'd think, all right, well, we're probably going to pick on the other guy. Anytime that they've tried to pick on Isaiah Rodgers on the other side of things, he's made him pay. Overall grade, taking a leap by 15 points this season compared to last. Coverage grade's a little bit down with the run defense grade as well. I think that is a huge area where he's shown a lot more strength and reliability of being able to come up and be a great run defense player. Yards allowed, clearly much less than it was last year. So he's just playing some really good ball. I'd say that coverage grade should honestly be even higher for him for as reliable as he has been this season. So huge leap of a year for Isaiah Rodgers. Wanted to hat tip how well he's playing opposite Stephon Gilmore in that defense.
Yeah, he's been – that was definitely one I did not see coming. I will say that. Another one, this one, my last guy, that I truly can't believe the leap he's taken this season because – he's been starting for multiple years now for the Cincinnati Bengals and really was as far away from an impact player as you can get a linebacker. Just kind of like you'd watch a whole Bengals game and not know this guy was on the football field. It's Jermaine Pratt. He has made impact play after impact play, especially of late. Go back to the Kansas City game where he had the game-changing forced fumble. Now has the highest coverage grade of any linebacker in the NFL this season in year 4. And again, last year, 54.0 overall grade. This year, 83.4. I mean, just a completely different player in the speed that he's playing with, the amount of times you just recognize him on the football field. I'm sure Quinn can speak to it, but they have one of the better linebacker duos, if not the best linebacker do in the NFL right now with the way those Bengals linebackers are playing.
Wasn't that supposed to be his thing? Because I remember in the draft guide, wasn't he like a former safety?
He's a former safety at NC State.
Yeah, so like coverage was supposed to be his thing, and he was never great at it. But yeah, you're right. This year, I mean, he's been cash money. He's going to get paid.
And it shows how much of like playing linebacker in the NFL is play speed, like processing speed. Like it takes a while to get to know, like get to see things quickly and not be in your head play after play. Because if you're still thinking about the scheme, having to diagnose on the fly and think about things, you're just going to look hesitant and not going to be a good NFL linebacker.
Looking at some other answers in the chat, a lot of people are shouting out Dexter Lawrence as well. Dexter Lawrence having a phenomenal season, but Dexter Lawrence was the 17th overall pick. So it's not like him playing really well was a total surprise, but I certainly see everybody who is shouting him out. Jeff said Talanoa Hufanga's a good one. I think that's definitely warranted. Hufanga's been fantastic. A couple people have said this. Gerard is the comment that I'm looking at right now. Frankie Louvu, the linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, also having a phenomenal year. Zach saying Dameon Pierce. I think Dameon Pierce is worth a shout-out as well. Jordan said, want to give a shout-out to Alex Highsmith, the edge rusher for the Steelers. Highsmith's been playing well. TJ says Matt Milano. Matt Milano is not my last guy that I'm going to bring up, but like Milano's been awesome this year. Yeah, I completely agree with you there. Last guy that I got before we'll get to more chat stuff, but David Long Jr., the linebacker for the Tennessee Titans. He has had a fantastic year, man. And this is somebody who, as a former 6th-round pick out of West Virginia, not a lot of people thought that he'd really be able to take this leap. And really what he's been able to show this year has been in run defense. He is such an aggressive dude when it comes to attacking the line of scrimmage. You see that run defense grade there. That is up 23 points from what it was last year. It just goes to show how much of an impact that he's been making. Overall grades obviously taking a leap as well. Coverage, still work in progress, but man, what they are asking this guy to do, play in the middle of the defense, be an inside linebacker, read and react to where the ball is going and attack the line of scrimmage, that's been his bread and butter this year, and that's what he's made such a big impact. His injury sucks for the Titans because they were playing really well on that side of the ball, especially in the middle of that defense with him, and so wanted to give him his recognition there, even though he's banged up right now, for a fantastic year that he has been having. So David Long Jr. had to shout him out.
He was a guy that, coming out of West Virginia, his tape was insane. He would absolutely go into contact without fear, played like a missile with no real direction here or there because he missed a ton of tackles on tape. And then he looked like a high-end athlete on tape and then goes to the combine or goes to his pro day, runs a 4.81. That's why he falls to 6th round because he's 5'11", 225, running a 4.81. But on tape, he looks like he runs a 4.5. Like that one never made sense. Glad to see that he's actually playing at a high level now that the game's like in year 4, kind of similar thing to Jermaine Pratt, the game's slowing down for him.
I do think there's something to guys at the combine when they run, they just hate the track stance. Mm-hmm. You know how you gotta like get into the track stance and get out of it? I really do.
Some people can't.
Because, I mean, like, there's no reason why David Long should have ran a 4.8.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
It's not even close to how he plays. So I just wonder if that goes into it as well. Some people shouting out, where was the one that I wanted to get to? There were a lot of Lions ones. You guys were shouting out Kirby Joseph. You were shouting out Malcolm Rodriguez. Isaiah Rodgers. No, that was from earlier. Where's the one about? James Houston, that was it. James Houston, the pass rusher. People wanted to shout him out because he's got a sack in every single game. So wanted to make sure that Dustin had a great comment. James Houston, 4th in his household, number 1 in your hearts because it's James Houston the 4th is his name. So I thought that was good. That's the comment that I wanted to get to. Nick said Andrew Thomas for the Giants. Again, Andrew Thomas having a great year, but former 1st-round pick, former OT1. Like, we're kind of expecting this. We did kind of want this to happen. But, Nathan said Josie Jewell. I agree, especially in coverage. He's been playing a lot better this year. Ramondre Stevenson, Nate says. Not an expert says Jeff Okudah. We had a lot of Lions on here that a lot of people wanted to give out some shout-outs to. So, all right, there we go. Those are our surprise superstars for the 2022 season, or at least some guys that we wanted to give a shout-out to. I know that there's somebody else here who is joining the show with us right now who wants to give a shout-out to some players, help you win your fantasy football playoff matchups. It's the one and only Ian Harditz. Ian, how we doing today, my friend?
Fantasy playoffs are here, Trevor. It's a great day to be great. Always good seeing you guys.
How do we feel about the games on Saturdays? Do we like it that it's more spaced out? Do we like that there's points on the fantasy board before we get into Sunday? How do you feel about it?
I'm cool with it. I do like how, even in the year 2022, I guess they have to, but to still respect, high school on Fridays and then college on Saturdays. Hey, when they're both done at the end of the year, then okay, I guess we'll get the NFL year round. But credit to football all coming together under the same goal.
Oh, you do love to see it. So we just did a segment called Surprise Superstars, guys that were really standing out in 2022. And a couple of people shouted this guy out in the chat, and you've got him in your start list for sure for this upcoming weekend. And that's Isaiah Pacheco, the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. What have you seen in Pacheco since he's really become that starter, and what gives you faith in him to be a guy to get you a lot of points for your fantasy playoffs this weekend?
Yeah, Jarek McKinnon's coming off that huge week, 2 touchdowns, most of it through the air. But we've really seen this passing game, other than Travis Kelce, who honestly has been, quiet, at least relative to his standards over the past few weeks. It has been inconsistent, but what hasn't been inconsistent is Pacheco getting these 15-plus carries per game, really ever since Clyde Edwards-Helaire was removed from the picture. So going up against the Texans defense, 31st in PPR points per game allowed to the position on the year. And, look, Pollard and Zeke last week, both top 12 running backs. Chiefs are 14-point favorites this week. You could not have a better game script looking ahead for Pacheco. If you're not going to start him this week, I don't know what he's doing on your fantasy squad in the first place.
Here's an interesting one that you put on your start list that I'm curious about. You have Travis Etienne in your start list, even though over the last 4 weeks hasn't gone over 54 yards, hasn't scored a touchdown. What do we see from Travis Etienne?
It's been disappointing that he hasn't gotten going more as a receiver. I know he doesn't have the best hands in the world, but, neither does Derrick Henry. And have you guys noticed how Derrick Henry is first in our yards per out run and the dead last in the PFF receiving grade? I just think that's pretty perfect. But ETN is also second to last in receiving grade. So I'm not saying that, it's, malpractice by Doug Peterson not to throw the ball to ETN more, but that really has been why he hasn't had the higher floor. That said, he still had over 75% of the snaps in all these games, busts or booms. And yeah, let's face it, last 3, Mikey brought up the lack of yardage he's had, but before he got injured in the first place, 3 straight top 10 finishes, that is his ceiling. And we have seen the Titans give opposing offenses, especially in the run game, all sorts of problems this year. So ETN, still someone for me, has the workload, has the usage of a legit RB1. Now we dump him down a little bit, and that's fair. Maybe we got those expectations a little too high. Still a top 15 option, though, someone I would start ahead of Miles Sanders, Ezekiel Elliott, honestly, Zonovan Knight, because I do think he still has quite just a little bit bigger workload, and maybe one of these days they start getting him the ball a little bit more in space in the passing game.
An interesting note that you have on your sit list for this week are Buccaneers pass catchers not named Chris Godwin. So this is a game where they're playing the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend. You figure if they're going to beat the Bengals, they're probably going to have to put up a lot of points, but you're saying Chris Godwin's the guy to go to, so I'd love to hear why you think that Chris Godwin's the guy that you have faith in, but then why the rest of them should be a little bit wary of.
5+ catches every single game since he came back from injury in week 4. Would have been still 6 straight if he had just caught that touchdown, but Russell Gage ended up getting it on the deflection anyway. So ultimately it's been the only consistency in this Buccaneers offense. They have scored more than 22 points once this entire season. Trev, I haven't gotten to watch any games with you this year, but I imagine it has not been, all that fun sitting next to you during these Buccaneers games. And hey, Byron Leftwich, he can, blame fantasy football all he wants. At the end of the day, it's a 28th ranked real life scoring offense in terms of points per game. So Mike Evans now 9 straight games without a touchdown. He didn't go longer than 2 straight games without a touchdown since Brady got there in 2020. It's just honestly been abysmal for everyone involved. And I remember talking to you guys in week 7 or week 8, and it was just when are they going to get out of it? And almost a joke, are we still going to be having this mindset in week 15? And unfortunately, here we are. So the running backs, if we only had one of them, then they would be rock solid RB1s, because only the Chargers this year have more overall targets to their running back. Shout out Austin Eckler. Vote for him in the Pro Bowl. Chargers account just had a hilarious video of him on that. But they're not the worst players in the world. I think I have Mike Evans, wide receiver 28, Rashad White and Fournette are low-end RB2s. So it's not saying that you absolutely can't start these guys, but Godwin is the only one I believe you need to start.
All I would say is that if we were watching Bucs games together this year, there would be Chipotle, and that's about the best that I could say about that. So that's all I've got there.
Another one I wanted to bring up on your sit list, though, is J.K. Dobbins. Obviously returns last week. Big game, 15 carries, 120 yards and a score. Why are we sitting him, though?
I mean, he even said it himself after the game that he's not back to 100%, specifically noting that 40-yard chunk run where he got caught from behind and couldn't quite get into the end zone. Now, the next play, he did score, so, it didn't exactly leave his fantasy managers hanging too much there. But what's kind of lost in it is just really man usage throughout that game. I mean, he played 43% of the snaps and had 15 carries. Gus Edwards had 34% of the snaps and 13 carries. So it's always been an offense that keeps 3 running backs involved. And guess what? There's Kenyon Drake over there stealing the only 2 targets away, and an offense that already throws the ball to its running backs at the second lowest rate in the league. So yes, Cleveland has been susceptible to opposing rushing offenses this season. That said, guys, if it's going to be Tyler Huntley or even Anthony Brown under center, I just don't think we're going to get the same, versatile and dynamic Ravens run game. So J.K. Dobbins for me, my RB26, not someone that needs to be in fantasy lineups by any stretch.
All right, ready for some starts?
Yep.
All right, we'll fire them off to you, Ian. The first one, it's a little 3-way. You got to pick one of these guys. T. Higgins, if he plays, Garrett Wilson, or DK Metcalf. Who do you like better there?
Ooh, I have DK and Garrett ranked right next to each other. I'll go with DK Metcalf because I do think with Walker being banged up and the 49ers just being so good against the run, Geno's probably going to have to pass. The only problem with T. Higgins, I mean, even before last week, we had that ankle injury in week 5 where, again, limited all week in practice, and then all of a sudden game time comes around and he only plays 10 snaps. So if we knew everyone was going to be full 100% healthy, and that goes for Mike White as well, maybe it could be different. But for now, give me DK.
Similar question here to Garrett Wilson is, what are your thoughts on Elijah Moore if Corey Davis is out this week? Are we playing him?
Not bad. I mean, wide receiver 4 area, just not someone I'm going to be going completely out of my way to get. I mean, with Mike White, it's been the Garrett Wilson show and pretty much not any room for anyone else. And that included Corey Davis for he got hurt, and unfortunately Elijah Moore for the most part. So more so someone that I'm looking to maybe, throw a few dollars at in DFS land. But in terms of trusting him with the fantasy playoff season on the line, to me, just someone that, hey, if you want to throw a dart at him, that's fine, but wouldn't have overly wild expectations. Not the best year for Elijah Moore, but at least we got Garrett going. See you guys as rookie of the year. I think he's got it for me at this point.
I mean, he's got to be up there. Off the top of my head, I mean, I think that Garrett Wilson's having an unreal year. I just watched the rookie wide receivers, and he's the most impressive of the bunch. So just off the top of my head with receivers only, it would be Garrett Wilson. TJ's asking this question. If Dallas Goedert goes, him or Hunter Henry? I know that tight ends are always a big question with fantasy playoffs because it's make or break stuff. So what about that one?
It's so bad, man. Evan Ingram had that blow-up week last week, and he's now the overall tight end 4 on the entire freaking season. Mark Andrews hasn't done anything in like 2 months, and he's still the overall tight end 2. Unless you have Travis Kelce, it has been a slaughterhouse out there. I would start Dallas Goedert over Hunter Henry. The problem is that Hunter Henry, like even last week, he only ran a route on 60% of Mac Jones's dropbacks. They're still keeping Jonnu Smith very involved, and I think Jacoby Myers is on track to be back as well. So Dallas Goedert really has been a consistent upside tight end 1 whenever healthy enough to suit up. And they said even if it's not going to be this week, should be back for that, NFC East Super Bowl we got against the Cowboys in week 16.
We had a couple of people ask for Isaiah Pacheco versus Kenneth Walker this week.
Ooh. I want to say Walker. That's very close. It was so weird yesterday. They didn't list Walker on the final injury report, and then Pete Carroll says he's officially going to be questionable. So I'm just still a little bit concerned about the overall health. He's so good. You know what? Give me Pacheco. I'm too concerned about Walker's health. The matchup is absolutely horrendous, and let's face it, they haven't made a habit of throwing the ball to Walker all that much either. So give me Pacheco. Let's do it.
All right, this is the last one from me. Hopeful Lions fan asks, is Gabe Davis just dead for the rest of the year? What are your thoughts on Gabe Davis?
I actually think he could boom in this spot. I mean, he kind of got locked up by Nick Needham in this matchup back in week 3, but he's obviously been out for a while with that Achilles. So Keon Crossen now expected to be shadowing Gabe Davis. Doesn't have the size to match up, and PFF actually grades him 118th in pure coverage grade this season. So Xavier Howard, I know he hasn't, made a habit of winning a lot of these one-on-one matchups, but he's actually done a good job against Stephon Diggs. Hasn't allowed Stephon Diggs to go over 80 yards in any of their 4 matchups since 2020. So obviously we're starting Stephon Diggs and not thinking twice about it, but I do think Gabe Davis does have a chance to boom here. So we know he's one of those players where it's like, hey, we're going to see some busts here and there, but the reason you drafted him is for those booms. So if you can't live with Gabriel Davis at his lows, you don't deserve to have him at his highs.
Good life lesson. You got one more?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Ian, we appreciate it, man. I just wanted to say that we had a couple of people in the chat shout you out, say that you did incredible work this season. They're thanking you for all the work that you put out, helping people with their fantasy leagues and everything. So you got a lot of praise from people in the chat today, which we appreciate here on the show. The chat certainly appreciates you a ton. Good luck in your fantasy playoffs, my friend. We appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the chat, and screw them Bulldogs. Let's go Buckeyes. We still got a little bit, but you guys know.
There we go. He's still bullish even in the face of the Georgia Bulldogs. Obviously, he's an Ohio State fan, so he's talking about the college football playoff there. Very intrigued to see how that matchup goes for one CJ Stroud, but we're going to get to that when we get closer to the college football playoffs. It's time.
Trivia.
It's time. It's time for trivia. What's the record? The record is 5-3. Think?
Yeah, they got a 2-game lead.
5-3. Chat's got a 2-game lead on us. We break down trivia into a couple of different categories, 10 total questions, and then if we are tied at the end of 10, we have a name the number tiebreaker where it would be hopefully impossible for us to tie that one to make sure that we get it split there. So multiple choice. If you're new to trivia, it's going to be multiple choice. Quinn's going to ask the questions. We're going to talk about it here on the desk. You guys vote in the chat collectively for what your final answer is going to be, and then we're going to see who takes the crown at the end of it. I'm juiced. I'm focused. I'm ready. I'm ready to get back in the win column, ready to get close to 500, ready to take one back for the desk here. So, Quinn, closing the laptop. We can't cheat. Not that we ever cheated, just so everybody out there knows. All right, Quinn, name the categories for us today.
A little bit different this week. First one, run, Forrest, run. Into the trenches.
Forrest, run! Run, Forrest!
Into the trenches. Under center. And D up.
Okay,
Forrest Gump was
Hey,
also
yo.
ahead of his time, too. If Forrest Gump played for – if he had that speed and he played for Nick Saban's Alabama,
Sure.
he's a top 10 pick, and he doesn't have to go to Vietnam.
He's like Jameson Williams.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's true. I can't argue these facts. I just can't argue them. All right, what's the first question here for Are You Smarter Than a PFF Grader? What do we got?
All right, this is run, Forrest, run. Josh Jacobs has the best PFF rushing grade among running backs. Who is second with a 90.4 overall grade? Is it Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard, or Miles Sanders?
It's tough. I don't know this.
Damn it. Would have known that Josh Jacobs was number one.
Yeah, I did know that. Nailed it.
Do you have any insight to Aaron Jones' grades?
No. I don't know. I just don't know.
Thank you. This is what happens when the Packers get eliminated from the playoffs in like week 6. Mike just becomes completely unreliable to his own team.
I feel like B or C is where my head went initially. Chubb or Pollard.
I don't think it's Pollard.
It's a bad owner, not checking in on his players.
I know. You know. Come on.
Sleep at the wheel.
What are we doing?
I'm not the only one making mistakes in the Packers front office, though. Let's be real.
Oh, you're saying that you're a part of the Packers front office?
Yeah,
just to be clear, just to be very clear. Eli put up Tony Pollard in the topic bar. I don't think it's Pollard. I think Pollard's got a really good grade. I don't think it's second.
Okay.
I think it's probably Chubb.
I'm cool with Chubb.
I also think Miles Sanders has been good, but again, I don't think that Miles Sanders is second.
I don't know. Your call.
We're going Nick Chubb.
All right.
We'll go with Nick Chubb here. B.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Cat is going Pollard.
Zeros. It's Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, it is.
Mike!
Great
job, Aaron.
Mike!
What?
Stop in the locker room every once in a while and check in on him.
Mike!
Why do I look at Aaron Jones' grade?
You're a
he's been
Packers
balling
fan.
this.
You're literally a part of the front office.
I know.
You're an owner of the team. You don't even know what your players are doing.
I just know he's good.
It's not good enough. God! I feel like we've got by Aaron Jones' grade so many times this season in trivia.
Probably. Ugh. All right, what's next? 0-0 still.
0-0. Didn't give up ground, but that was one that we should have got. That was one that I feel like we needed.
Same category. Speaking of Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
He leads the NFL with 19 rushes, gaining 15-plus yards. Who is second with 16? Is it Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, or Justin Fields?
16. That's a good question. I could see Pollard here.
I can see Pollard here.
Or Josh Jacobs, just because.
It's B or C, I think. I think it's B or C. I don't think Saquon has enough big runs. He's just got a lot of runs. Wow, we got Pollard as a topic bar again. Just put Tony Pollard as the topic bar for literally all of them. Like, even when we get into, like, defensive players, just keep throwing.
That might have been what I did.
Just keep throwing Tony Pollard up there.
Man. Yeah, so 19 would be 1.5 a game. That just seems like too many for Pollard with his workload.
I think it's Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I like Josh Jacobs.
All right, we're going to go with Josh Jacobs. We're going B, Josh Jacobs.
Chat has gone with Fields.
Could be Fields, too.
Zeros. It was Tony Pollard.
It was Tony Pollard.
You guys outthunk yourself again.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Tony. We are hot.
Man. Really? Josh has got to be second, or Josh got to be third here, right? I don't know what the number is, but
I don't know what the number is either.
okay.
I'm just reading what's in front of me.
I need you to think.
Speaking of reading what's in front of me,
Yeah.
next category is into the trenches.
Okay.
This tackle has the highest PFF pass block grade with a 91.6 PFF pass block grade. Who is it? Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, Laramie Tunsil, or Andrew Thomas?
Oh, man. Yeah, these are the guys, aren't they?
I think I know this one.
These are definitely the guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trent's obviously a monster this year. Lane's
Every year.
Yeah, Lane's been fantastic. Tunsil's been good.
Interesting.
Maybe he has been that good.
I feel like this is also very indicative of, to go to like a scouting point here, those guys were all top 5 picks. Now, Tunsil wasn't because the gas mask bong and whatever. But
he would have gone.
The elite tackles, you kind of just, you see them, how they move at the collegiate level, and you're like, those guys are it. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's C, right? Laramie Tunsil.
It's either C or A.
I think it's Tunsil. I don't think he's allowed like pressure in like the last 4 weeks. He went against Mike Parsons.
Yeah, Trent Williams is just the highest graded tackle. So, but Tunsil's right there. If you're pretty confident in C, we can.
I think it's C.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go C.
And chat is going with Lane Johnson.
You guys are on the comeback trail.
Let's go!
Laramie Tunsil.
That's all.
Boom. 1-0.
Woo! Feels good. 1-0, baby. Love that. Absolutely love that for us. Yeah, Laramie Tunsil's been. I didn't think that. So, why I really wasn't pushing too hard on this is because his run blocking grade I don't think is that good, but I know his overall grade is really high. So that means that he had to be right there in that conversation. But you said he hasn't given up a pressure?
I don't think pressure in 4 weeks. I know this past week against Parsons, I don't think he did. He's playing lights out right now.
Yeah, he's a monster. All right, 1-0. 1-0 the desk.
1-0, same category. We're staying in the trenches.
Okay, all right.
The only interior offensive linemen with a 90-plus PFF run block grade are Chris Lindstrom and this player. Frank Ragnow, Creed Humphrey, Jason Kelsey, or Ethan Pochich.
Shit.
Well, it's not Ethan Posick.
Okay. I was gonna say though. I think it's one of the centers.
What do you mean?
They're all centers. That was a joke.
I was like, wait. What do you mean one of the centers?
Maybe. I want to say C. I want to say Jason Kelsey.
I'm not sold.
You don't think so?
Eli put Jason Kelsey as the topic bar. Yeah, it's C.
Okay. Cool. Lock it in.
I'm pretty confident that it's C. We're going Jason Kelsey. Give us C.
Chad is going Jason Kelsey.
All right.
It's Creed.
Oh, it is.
He's still good.
Creed.
Creed's
Always
great.
has been.
Creed's grade is like
Drafted lower than Jackson Carman. Fun fact.
Last time I checked,
Yeah, that's
Creed was like a low 80s grade this season.
Yeah, maybe he's pass pro. I don't know.
Has he been that bad in pass? Because all right, this one's stumping me. We might have to fact check this one.
All right.
We might have
We'll fact check.
We might have to fact check this one at the
We need to be able to call in Solf.
at the end of the show. Okay, because I'm very curious at what Creed's grade is. Not going after Saul.
I think Trev's just mad he keeps getting got by my topic bars.
No, I'm all right. Whatever. Okay, keep going. Next question.
All right, last one in this category. Who is the highest graded D lineman, interior D lineman, or edge on 3rd and 4th down this season with a 91.8 grade? Is it Quinnen Williams, Myles Garrett, Chris Jones, or Dietrich Wise Jr.?
That's a good question. 3rd and 4th downs.
I think I know the answer.
Oh, do you? Okay.
But again, it's just like a hunch. I was a lot more confident last question that we were going to get the answer right. So maybe I shouldn't even be that confident.
See, I would lean Myles Garrett, but he on 3rd, 4th down, he just gets accounted for. Right?
Yeah, no one is leaving Myles Garrett.
1-on-1, 3rd down. So, obviously much more difficult.
Dietrich Wise is the name that's just obviously sticks out.
Yeah, because obviously on the 3rd down, it's easier on the interior to be impacted. You can't account for a guy.
Right.
It's like you can slide, but oftentimes slides dictated by just the front you're facing. Unless you got an air down on the other side and you got to do it, but it's still hard to do. I did lean who's on the top of the bar right now. Quinnen Williams is my thought.
Did you?
But Chris Jones, I could also see because Chris Jones is
Chris
Jones is higher graded overall. So I could say
I think it's Chris Jones.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
I think it's Chris Jones. I think a decent. See, but this is just kind of what I'm remembering. I feel like a decent amount of Quinnen's best production also comes on early downs.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just feel like Chris Jones he's like the closer.
He is.
He's just a monster for them every time it's a late down situation.
All right.
Unless you really feel okay. All right,
Jones.
we'll do Chris Jones. All right, we're going Chris Jones here.
Chad is going with Quinnen Williams.
Okay.
Tied up. 1-1.
It is
I'll let you down on that one.
It's all right.
Damn, Chris Jones got to be close. Got to be close. All right, what's the next one?
All right, next category, under center. Obviously, this is going to be quarterback stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He is the highest graded quarterback on 1st and 2nd down this season. Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, or Tua.
Ooh, that's a good question. So this is just overall grade, not passing. I want to lean.
Tua's a higher graded quarterback, right?
Yeah.
It's Tua and then Mahomes. And then it's Burrow, I think.
Yeah. I would lean A or D. Burrow's just nails on like 3rd down. They don't even let him pass much on 1st, 2nd down. I would lean A or D. I'm thinking A. I'd think Jalen Hurts. Before even the top of the bar saw it.
Yeah. Oh man, there's pros for all of these guys. Jalen definitely makes sense. Tua obviously has the highest grade.
Yeah, I mean, Tua makes sense too, right? He's not, although he's been a lot better this year on third down than, night and day from last year, but even still, third down's probably got to have it. Pass situations aren't his thing.
Right.
I could see it. I could lean Tua.
How do you think, is Jalen's grade super high?
Yeah. I think he's third highest graded overall.
Is he?
Yeah, I believe so. But then also, like, sneaks are a big part of his grade in rushing grade, and those aren't going to be first or second down. Whereas Joe Burrow's the king of the second down sneak.
Is he?
Dude, how many times this year have they snuck on second down?
I mean, I don't have the number right off the top of my head, but
like,
more than I would prefer.
Probably
I would prefer that they open it up and then you can go do that on third down. But yeah, he will get to the line quick and just snap it.
I would say like 5 times. And in the open field, if you are in the open field, you would rather have a 2nd and 1 than you would a 1st and 10. It is more beneficial, more explosive plays happen on a 2nd 1 in the open field. So when they do that every time, they're basically making themselves worse off.
I'll give you the. Go ahead.
No, one of these days, somebody's just going to forget to line up over center, and he's just going to take that thing like 50 yards.
Yeah, he's going to.
All right, what do you think?
The damn Zach Taylor says all the time.
Let's go Tua.
Okay.
You go Tua?
All right, that's fine.
Let's go Tua.
That's fine. Yeah.
We'll go Tua.
Yeah.
Chad is overwhelmingly going Hurts.
Oh.
And you guys are both wrong. It's Lamar.
Oh, well. No one was going that way.
I just want to put this out in the air. I'm getting like crucified for my hints, and my hint was
good.
He likes my hint was he likes running, and they're all like, "Oh, it's so obviously Hurts," and I'm like, "Dude, his nickname's Lamar B. Are we kidding?" I'm like, "What is going on?" So I just want to put it out in the air to chat that I'm trying to help, and they're crucifying me.
Yeah, good. Keep giving bad hints.
It's an incredible hint. Just saying.
All right, what's the next one?
Same category. He is the highest graded quarterback in the second half of games. That's third quarter, fourth quarter, and overtime. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, what is this?
Second half of games.
He is the highest graded quarterback in the second half of games.
Speaking of Lamar Jackson, just very much an aside, but did you see that Greg Roman said he called a design scramble? So Dan Orlovsky was going down, breaking down a play about how they had just no spacing in their routes. And Greg Roman said, he's like, yeah, if you put 5 guys, all 5 receivers on one side of the field and it's zone coverage, that means the other side of the field, there's not going to be anyone guarding their zones. And he called it a design scramble. That was something I had never heard of before. That it was not an actual passing play. It was just for him.
Literally just me and Matt.
Yeah, just for him to go out the right side of the pocket.
Wow. Innovative.
I thought that was cool.
Love it. Highest graded QB in the second half of games.
Man, I will say Aaron Rodgers has been good in the second half of games.
I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Now he's been dog shit in the first half of a lot of games, but he's brought him back in a lot of second halves.
I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
Fallen short in a lot of them though still, but like not necessarily because like he's had a lot of big time throws in the second half.
90.5, would his grade be that high?
Whereas the other guys, Mahomes, Allen, you're sitting on a lot of second halves. You're not attacking in the fourth quarter. So you're just having a lot of pass plays that are maybe more conservative to drag your grade down. So I'd lean Aaron Rodgers. But
He like put Lamar as the top of our. If it's also Lamar, then that's unbelievable. But I don't think we're going to go with Lamar. I'm comfortable with Rodgers.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll go Aaron Rodgers. We're going Aaron Rodgers here.
Chad is also going with Aaron Rodgers.
It is also Lamar Jackson.
It's amazing.
He's thrown some dots at the end of games, though.
Yeah, the Deshaun Jackson throw the other way.
Throwing dots just like I'm throwing these great topic bars out there.
Just Lamar should hold out right now.
He should just not play third downs in the first half.
No, Lamar should hold out right now. Lamar should be like, nah, I'm not playing until I get a new contract. Just
Or
like
just
right
say
now.
he's not playing third downs and first
Like
downs.
right before the playoffs start.
Yeah.
Just be
Well,
like,
I mean,
yeah,
he's
I'm
hurt,
out.
right? Maybe he is. Maybe that's the injury. Is his pocketbook.
Unbelievable. All right, 1-1. This is the lowest scoring trivia we've ever had. Because what are we on? Question 6? 7?
Yeah, I mean, this is worse than throwing darts at the board. So.
All right, let's keep going.
All right, last one in this category. This player has the most passing
Lamar
yards.
Jackson.
You know what it is. You got it right. Just close the chat. This player has the most passing yards in the fourth quarter and overtime this season. Matt Ryan, Joe Burrow, Derek Carr, or Tom Brady.
I swear to God, if you put Lamar Jackson in this. This player has the most passing yards in the fourth quarter and overtime this season.
I know what I'm going to guess. Yeah. Good idea.
Pretty confident.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think. Derek Carr. Does he? I mean, he went for 99 the other day, so.
Derek Carr has played 2 overtime games.
But he has.
So he's got extra time, right?
Joe Burrow had that fourth quarter against the Steelers and OT.
And OT, which was nutty. Yeah.
That he probably had like 200 in that game alone.
Yeah.
He had he went for 400 plus against who was that? But I think he kind of gas pedaled off in the fourth. What game was that early in the season? I mean, Tom Brady feels like the right answer, right?
Brady has obviously had the 2 massive comebacks where he's had to march all the way down. He did that against the Rams, and then who was the other team he just did it against? The Saints.
And they've had the
Against
most
Saints.
plays in 2-minute drill of anyone this year by far. They've had a lot of end-of-game situations, and he's been effective in all of them. How many OT games have the Bucs played, though?
I don't think any.
No.
I don't think any.
Yeah. I'd lean Tom, but I could see Burrow, too.
I'll just go Tom.
Okay.
I guess.
All right.
Well, so you gotta go into the mind of Davey Salfaro, who comes up with these questions. He knows that we're gonna think about Brady because he has the Rams game and the Saints game.
Mm-hmm. But still, that was probably like 400 yards between those two.
I don't think it was that many.
Not that many.
No.
But he has thrown for a lot of yards
But it's
this
the
year
fourth
also.
quarter too.
You know, they have thrown for a lot of yards and been a lot of games in the fourth quarter where he still has to throw.
All right, we'll go Brady.
Yeah.
All right, we're going Brady.
Chat is going with Derek Carr.
Well, it can't be Joe Burrow because he got sat down in that Panthers game because they were beating him to death.
Yeah.
So he had 0 yards in the fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah.
But it is Tom Brady.
Let's go! Woo!
Never down.
Never in doubt. Never, baby. How many questions do we have left? What do we got? 4?
2.
Oh, there's
Okay.
only 2?
D up.
Yeah, we've been hot. Chat's been worse. Thank God the chat did not show up to play today.
All right, let's do it.
Did anybody show up to play
No.
today?
Hey,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
hey,
Thank
you know
God.
what? Hey, a win is a win is a win.
You
if
got,
we get it.
you just got to grind them out.
We
This
just
is
gotta
like,
grind 'em out.
It's like the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl.
3-3, or what was the final score? 10-3. What was it? 9-3.
So 13-3. What was it?
13-3. I think you're right. Okay. What's the next one?
All right.
Two more questions.
2 more questions. This category is called D up. Which
Hey, yo.
linebacker has the best PFF coverage grade? Matt Milano, Demario Davis, Dre Greenlaw, or TJ Edwards?
Did we not just? Oh, of those 4. Okay. Fuck. I know what it is. I'll let the chat stew on it. They're not getting one on this. They're not getting one on us here.
I can't wait for the numbers to be wrong and us
I know,
to be
right?
absolutely robbed.
If that's the case, we are
all right.
canceling trivia for good. After
So, going in order here, Matt Milano
Great
obviously has
season.
had an unbelievable season. Would not be surprised if he's the
Mario
answer.
Davis, great season. Trey Greenlaw,
DeMario
great
Davis
season.
always.
TJ Edwards, great season.
Yeah, DeMario Davis always has a great season. I mean, he's just one of the smartest linebackers in football. Drake Greenlaw has had a really good year.
TJ Edwards was going to be. I was debating him for the segment we did earlier about guys surprise stars. But I'd already had Jalen Hurts on the list. I was like, we got to spread the love out. Eagles are getting filleted left and right by the media. So TJ Edwards, though, heck of a linebacker.
He is playing well. Eli put Greenlaw as the top player.
Chat locked in? Can we lock Chad?
Yeah, they're pretty locked in at this point.
Okay. It's Drake Greenlaw.
Okay.
Chad is also going Greenlaw.
All right.
Good job, guys.
There it is.
Greenlaw.
Yes.
It's huge. This last question's huge.
All
3-2. 3-2.
Cannot see ground.
Pressure is on.
For all the marbles.
Pressure is on.
For as low scoring as this is shaped up to be a pretty good game.
I think I would have guessed Milano. So it's a good thing you're here. I would have guessed Milano.
You guys ready?
Yep.
We're ready.
Last question. Brian Burns and which other edge defender are tied for the most total pressures on 3rd and 4th down? Matt Judon, Nick Bosa, Daniil Hunter, or Trey Hendrickson?
Man. This one's a pure coin flip.
Damn. Eli, do not give them a hint. Do not give them a hint, Eli. They got to get this.
Yeah, no hints. Let's keep this.
Okay. No hints. No hints.
They got to get this.
This is for all the marbles.
This is because this one's also tough. Like Mike said, you can come up with reasons for all of these. So I want to see what the chat does here. I think I know who it is.
Oh, do you? Okay.
But it's just again, it's kind of a guess. You can make a case for a lot of these guys.
I have who I think, but
Bosa leads the NFL in pressures.
okay.
Judon's close. Hunter's up there as well. I don't know what Hendrickson's numbers on 3rd and 4th down are going to be.
Hendrickson is the speed rush goat, though.
3rd and 4th down only?
My initial leaning was Matthew Judon. Obviously, good defense.
That is also what I think.
A lot of 3rd downs.
That is also what I think.
All right. And then he's not, though. You know, Nick Bosa is another guy that just like he gets accounted for on 3rd downs. Whereas Judon has now Uche across from him. And obviously they get a lot of defense.
No, but Judon's had a lot of pressures this year.
And he's got a lot.
He's got a lot of sacks.
So that was my thought.
I think we're locking it in with Matthew Judon.
Judon it is.
We'll see. Is the chat solidified?
Yeah, chat is early. They were going with Hendrickson, but then late they made a push for Judon.
Oh, idiots. You can't win.
Yeah, you guys got to be better than that. It's Trey Hendrickson, though.
Oh! Chat had it. Chat had it.
I love it.
Oh, man.
That was poor late game coaching by the chat.
You know what that is, though? That's a win.
That's a win.
That's a win, baby.
Oh.
5-4.
Doesn't always have to be pretty.
Doesn't have to be pretty. Chat's got 5 wins on the season. We've got 4 wins on the season.
Hendrickson.
It's just about how we get there.
He is the speed rush go.
You know, we didn't factor in the Cincinnati Bengals homerism that we got over in the production portal.
I know. That's on me.
Should have factored it in. Well, I was also very comfortable with Judon. I thought that Judon was going to be that answer there.
A good hint for that one would have been he's about to play with a club on his hand, because he probably will.
Is he really? They're gonna club him up.
He hurt his wrist, and I don't think he's playing this week. But I gotta imagine that at some point they're just gonna tape that thing up and he can use it as a battering ram. I don't know.
I always love when
JPP played down a few fingers and was still pretty productive. So.
I can't
down a few fingers.
I can't confirm. He was very productive with the Buccaneers. Dude, strangest stories of all time.
All right, what was the question that we had some questions about again?
The Jason Kelsey one. Jason Kelsey run blocking.
Okay, Kelsey at 89.2, Creed Humphreys 90.0. Yeah, that was right.
Oh, oops. Well, did we actually get one right that you guys tried to check on us?
No.
No, that was right. Kelsey was the right answer.
That was right.
No, Kelsey.
Creed Humphrey was
Creed
right.
Humphrey.
Yeah,
was the
Creed
right
Humphrey.
answer. What is
Humphrey's
Creed
right, so we were
Humphrey's
right.
pass blocking grade?
Let's see.
You got to tell me this.
79.2. He has an 88.2 overall grade.
Okay, I
You
thought it
just-
was
you
lower.
thought it was lower.
He must have. Can you check his recent games? Has he been balling out?
Last 3 games, pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. You know what? Got a little screwed on that one, but it's okay.
Happens.
A dub's a dub is a dub. Let's get the good people out of here with some Thursday night football bets. You said at the top of the show, Thursday night football. Actually, a good matchup.
A good game.
Actually, a good matchup. We got the San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks, and this one's in Seattle. Seattle at home, getting 3.5. I saw 3 as well, so 3.5, but I think we're going with 3.5 here on the show. What do you got for that? What do you got for the over-under? I think it's 43.5, and then give us a prop bet too.
If it's 3.5, I like the Seahawks side. At home, Brock Purdy, great game last week. Sure. He ain't ready for the 12th man. He hasn't had that. And the come down from that high last week, I don't think you're going to see a great game from a rookie 7th-round pick going into Seattle this week. I just don't. So I like the Seahawks there as the home dogs. I like the over, though, as well, just because I think Geno Smith and company could put up some points. And I like Geno going under 0.5 interceptions in this game. You can get some positive money on that. I like that bet.
Well, you're not agreeing with Greenline for the spread. I am agreeing with Greenline. You can see that right there. That's the PFF app. If you guys don't have it and you got an Apple device, head to the App Store, type in Pro Football Focus. You'll be able to find the app right there. I'm going with the 49ers to cover that 3.5, although I do think it's going to be a good game. The Niners are they're rolling. Unless Brock Purdy turns into a pumpkin or something, I think the 49ers are going to win this one. I think they're one of the hottest teams in the NFL, no doubt about it. I have the over for 43 or 43.5. I like the over no matter what there. And then I'm going Tyler Lockett. Because I've got the over, I'm going Tyler Lockett over 5.5 receptions. I think the Niners are just too stout up front. They're the best defense in the NFL when it comes to EPA per rush allowed. I don't think the Seahawks are going to be able to get much on the ground going, so I think it's going to have to be through Geno's arm, and I think Tyler Lockett's going to be on the receiving end of a lot of those. So over 5.5 catches.
I dig it.
What is the answer to the wacky question of the day we had about non-human large mammal mascots in the NFL?
I said 9.
Yeah, I think we're going 9. I think everybody was going 9.
Forget it.
Yep. All right, so let's name them. Panthers, Bears, Bengals, Broncos, Lions, Colts, Jags, Rams, Dolphins.
Boom.
Yep. Good job. So
There we go.
the origin of that question, I think it was Brett Coleman tweeted out either last night or this morning. He said all 4 Big Cat teams have a realistic chance to make the playoffs, and he couldn't remember that the last time or if that's ever happened. Right? Bengals, Panthers, Lions,
Jaguars.
Jags. Right? Historically, maybe not great teams, but that got me thinking about large mammals.
Mammals.
Yeah.
I cannot think that there was a time when that has happened.
There can't be. I mean, that's like
When did the Jags start?
Jags last made the playoff. They made 20.
But when did the Jags
Those
start?
are historically hapless franchises.
Right.
I mean, I gotta,
They made the playoffs. The Jags did in like 97 or so. 90. They made it. Were the Bengals hot in the late 90s? I don't think so, right?
The Bengals were probably the worst team in the league in the late.
Okay. All right, there you go. So no.
It was like
Early,
the Achilles.
and then the Jags only got in the league at 95, maybe, was it? So, yeah, it may not have ever happened. Because then they've only made the playoffs like once since like this last decade and a half. We just talked about they've had 14 the last 15 years, top 10 picks. Or 13 the last 14 now.
Making history.
Yeah.
Making history this year. We're getting all 4 cat teams in the playoffs. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see if Carolina can do it. We'll see if the Jags can do it.
There's no chance that all
Come
4
on.
make the playoffs.
Be fun. It'd be fun as hell. Be
Yeah.
fun as hell, though. It would mean that down the stretch, we are going to see some wild games. Of course, starts here on Thursday night. It's going to continue on to Saturday because we've got 3 Saturday games in the NFL as well as the Sunday slate, too. We're going to be previewing all of that action. Well, I guess not Thursday Night Football. We're going to recap Thursday Night Football, and then we're going to preview all of the games that we have this weekend coming up tomorrow. Who's our chat champ for tomorrow?
Chat champ is Jeff Tolosi. Was like the first person in chat by a mile. So shout out Jeff being real early.
Big shout out to Jeff. You show up early, you get Chat Champ. Chat Champ's a great title to have for tomorrow's shows. We're going to give you guys our bold predictions and just our overall predictions of what we think we're going to see this upcoming weekend in the NFL. I'm Trevor Sikkema. That is Mike Renner. For everybody in the production portal, thank you guys so much for losing trivia on this Thursday. Going to be back in the win column, baby. We'll see you guys tomorrow right here on It's Just Football. See you guys then.
It's not about politics. It's about football.
This is a simple game.
We're going to run the ball, and we're going to pass the ball. We just going to play football, really.
How good of a football player are you?
Not just get it and try to spin it. That's all.
I just love the game.
It really is the best time of the year.